We don't walk like them, we don't talk like them, we don't chase the trends, we don't blend in. Marked by the word, sealed by the flame, set apart in Yah's holy name. We were chosen in the fire, not the fame. We don't bow when they call our name. Don't mistake silence for shame. We're royalty, we're not the same.
You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Come out from among them and be separate. Corinthians 6:17. We're set apart, we ain't the same. Carried his name through the fire and the pain. We were chosen, not for show, but to walk in truth the world don't know. We're set apart, oh yes we are, shining like a promise under God's bright stars. We're set apart, we're not the same. We were made to glorify his name.
They said conform, but we refuse. We don't wear their chains or walk in their shoes. Our law is love, our steps are light. We follow Torah, we walk upright. Their gods are gold, their altars cracked. We serve the one who's coming back. We don't need fame, we don't need applause. We bow to Yah, the only cause.
You shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed. We're set apart, we ain't the same. Covered by blood, not covered in blame. We're the ones he kept through the storm, a nation reborn, a people transformed. We're set apart, chosen by grace, called out from every land and place. We're set apart, we're not ashamed, 'cause we were made to glorify his name. Who are we? We the chosen, we the light, in his word, in his might, set apart, we made to shine, the most high all the time, and they shall be mine, says yeah, in the day when I make up my truth. We're set apart, we ain't the same, we walk with purpose, not with shame. We're set apart, oh yes it's true, oh yes it's true, shows us long before we knew. We're set apart, with truth in hand, people from every land. We're set apart, not here for fame, we rise in power in Yah's great name.
Shalom, family. It's wonderful to see you all here. I hope you're all doing well. Well, I know by now you probably heard about Megyn Kelly making up excuses for Jeffrey Epstein and really protecting him. And I guess the most shocking thing when I went and read about her and her children, she got a 14-year-old daughter. So for her to take this position, it just goes to show you some of these females out here that defend molesters and stuff ain't a damn bit of good. And she's just showing that she is indeed one of those people. She ain't no good. I wouldn't trust this woman's judgment, even if it was the only one presented to me. I would not trust it, you know? And this is another example of why you don't follow these Gentiles. You don't follow them in anything, y'all. If they got this kind of an opinion, the only thing you need to do is get far away from them. because nothing good is going to come from a person like Megyn Kelly. Nothing good is coming from her. So I want to thank WJ Luckett for your super chat. Megan R. Kelly. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Yeah, and thank you for your contribution to my channel. And Betty Fetter, thank you for your super sticker. I deeply appreciate it. All right, y'all. Let's get started. Wait. Here we go. Yep, there we go. All right, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Yeah, it's the culture, y'all. It's the culture. That's why she feels that way. It's her culture. And if you remember, Megyn Kelly is the same person that tried to defend blackface and admitted she did blackface and tried to say she didn't see nothing wrong. See, that's how she ended up losing her job over at NBC. And as you can see, a hard head don't learn no lesson. Her hard head sure didn't learn any. Listen to the way she's talking. You know, like I said, these are the people you absolutely don't want to follow them in anything. Thank you, everybody.
This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. It's just whatever. It's sick. Because every time we start talking about Epstein, it makes your skin crawl. Right? The whole thing is just disgusting.
Totally.
What in the hell? You got to be under 10 to be preyed upon by a grown man? No, that's not the definition at all.
At best, it was just a completely stupid, ignorant thing to say from somebody who knows nothing about any of it, doesn't understand, having worked with survivors, how they groom people, how they go after it. But it also, at worst, sounded like, despite the protestation, like creating some kind of permission structure. Oh, it's okay because they weren't under 10. I mean, if you've seen some of I think when we look at these young women now, they're women, but they were girls when this happened. One of them had braces, for God's sakes.
Hey, Megyn Kelly. I'm Eloise and I'm 14 years old. I wasn't even going to say anything because the topic is an adult one. My mom even made a video about it yesterday because we didn't feel it was an appropriate topic for a child to speak about. But after hearing you go on camera and explain that Epstein wasn't into 8-year-olds, just the barely legal type like 15, I realized you might need an actual reality check from a literal child. So let me help you out. Megyn, People in my grade are turning 15 right now. Some of us still have baby faces. Some of us still have braces. Some of us still call our parents when we're scared at night. Some of us still look like middle schoolers because we basically are. And the fact that a grown woman needs a teenager to explain that is honestly terrifying. Here's the part you seem confused about. Under federal law, anyone under 18 is a child. No asterisk. No, but they hit puberty. No, older kids don't count. Anyone under 18 is a child. You said you were just giving facts, but here's the real fact. What you said wasn't factual. It was minimizing. It was making abuse sound like a technicality. And Megyn, here's the part you really need to hear. If a 14-year-old has to get on the internet and explain to a grown adult with national platform that children are children and there's no age where abuse suddenly becomes less bad, then the problem isn't confusion, it's corruption. Because kids my age aren't supposed to be the ones correcting you. We're not supposed to be the moral compass in a room full of adults who should have known better. But here we are. If my voice makes you uncomfortable, good, it should. Because the minute adults start defending predators by debating the age of a child, you're not protecting the truth. You're protecting the predator. And you shouldn't need a freshman to tell you that.
Have you guys seen the recent Megyn Kelly's commentary regarding the Jeffrey Epstein's email revealing Donald Trump? Now, I'm sure she thought she was defending Donald Trump, but this commentary not only showed damage control, it showed delusional. Let's talk about it. In this commentary, Megyn Kelly goes on to explain how her sources that were very close to Epstein considered him as liking the barely legal type. Now, what the hell is barely legal? A 15-year-old that's considered barely legal? Sometimes I wonder if these mega Republicans have children. Take a look at this.
But just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-olds.
Then she goes on to make excuses and said that he didn't like 8-year-olds. He liked it the early teens. Is that okay? Are you guys okay? Some of these people need to go to counseling. This is pedophilia. Come on. Take a look at this one.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I relied.
In this next clip, her and her guest speaker goes on to make excuses and lie for Donald Trump. I don't get it. I'm not going to stand for something that I know we all gonna fall for. There is nowhere in hell these two women should be up there making excuses for this type of behavior. Take a look at this.
We have not seen some slew of young women come forward to say, me too, on Donald Trump molesting them or having paid for sex with them when they were barely legal or otherwise. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah, in fact, at that same press conference, the lawyer for a group of the women actually said Jeffrey Epstein would prey upon women when they were underage, true and disgusting and horrible. And then the lawyer said, and when they came of age and he was no longer interested in them, he would then pass them on. So there was no pedophilia ring. There was a pedophile who did unspeakable things to vulnerable girls, and then they would age out of Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilic interests, at which point he would then start to pass them around to his friends, meaning that there were not actual crimes committed by anybody beyond. There's no pedophilia.
I'm not sure as to what type of hypnosis or hypnotic situation Trump has these people in,
But there is no way on God's green earth that I would sit there, me as a woman, being raised up from a little girl, and not wanting those old grotesque men to touch me, would sit here and defend this. I have a daughter. There is no way I would even think of defending this. But this is the type of MAGA Republic situation we're in today. Drop down in the comments how you feel about Megyn Kelly's commentary on the defense of the Epstein files or the Epstein emails revealing Donald Trump. Is she correct or is she incorrect? Let me know. And don't forget to like, share, and follow me for more controversial topics.
Megyn Kelly literally said, if the grass is green, play ball. That is what she meant. When she said those girls were 15, not 8, they're not children. Because we live in a society where if a girl has the audacity to hit puberty, fuck them. Literally and figuratively, just fuck them. And I'm so disgusted with this bitch that I'm going to go there. This is her 14-year-old daughter, Yardley. And if you want to get on my back saying, leave the kids out of this woman doesn't think that this is a kid. She's 14. Megyn, she's the same size as you. Look how tall she is. What child? She's not 8, right? Well, why don't you let her intern for Trump? Leave her alone in a room with Trump for a few hours. See how you feel then. It doesn't matter what comes out in those files or emails. Doesn't matter. These MAGA hypocrites do not care. Megyn wouldn't even care if it happened to her daughter. She wouldn't care. Nothing is going to change her mind on this. We're just going to spend the rest of our lifetime begging people to leave girls under the age of 18 alone.
Megyn Kelly is defending being a PDF file. Megyn Kelly. I used to like Megyn Kelly, but she has rebranded and become so gross. But Megyn Kelly used to be a respected journalist. I believe you can have an opinion without resorting to what Megyn Kelly has in her rebrand. And now Megyn Kelly, there's no other way to describe what she's done. Megyn Kelly is defending being a PDF file. She said that it wasn't quite fair to call Epstein a PDF file because he was into the barely legal type, which Megyn Kelly appallingly defined as like 15-year-olds who look like they could be legal adults. Epstein, though, was charged with the trafficking of minors, and the Department of Justice said that he abused and exploited dozens of underage girls, some as young as 14. If my daughter was 14 and this skeezy, criminal, disgusting old man, 15 and 14, those are children. And Megyn Kelly is a mother, and she said this crap. Shameful. So yeah, gross, I think.
Call out Megyn Kelly for making those terrible comments that she made. If you didn't hear what she said, basically they were talking about Epstein's girls, the teenage girls that have been mistreated, abused, and all the other negative words you possibly could say by Epstein and by this group of these wealthy, powerful men, including perhaps someone that we have representing us right now in an elected office, and you know which one I'm talking about. That, well, these were 15-year-olds, that they weren't 8-year-olds or 5-year-olds. That would like be bad. What? Doing what they did with 15-year-olds is not bad. It's not something wrong with that. What is wrong with you, Megyn Kelly? I mean, this is what's wrong with Fox and all of these people. Oh, it's not like there were 8-year-olds or 5-year-olds. So it's okay to do it to 15-year-olds, 13, 14-year-old girls, but not 8-year-olds or 5-year-olds. I mean, this is messed up. What do you all think? Am I seeing this wrong? I mean, who's got the problem here? I mean, this is why we're in this mess now. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and the burned out light bulbs. Megyn Kelly, you should, I can't say those words. Be ashamed of yourself as not even remotely. You should apologize to everybody for making that comment.
File. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving.
Ma'am, I can 100% unequivocally say that you are absolutely making excuses for a pedophile. You know, I looked up online and I saw that you had 3 children, one of which is approaching the age of 15 and is a young lady. Now, I'm not doxing this woman. This is public information. She has 3 children. But the fact that you sat there and you can visibly see you trying to wrap your mind around rationalizing pedophilia is insanely disgusting. No matter how much you try to separate the degrees of which your belief system doesn't match with your quote unquote source's belief system. As a mother who had to endure a child who was groomed by men like Jeffrey Epstein, let me explain something to me. Let me paint a picture for you that maybe you can understand. Let's say, God forbid, peradventure, that your daughter is put in this situation because by the public information, we know that you have a daughter and she's 14 years old. But let's say that she herself decides to go to an event with you. And like teenagers do, they just kind of float around and disappear, you know, because who wants to hang out with a bunch of old crusty people? But let's say she just happens to stumble across a man that believes, like your source said, is into the barely legal. And he convinces her to go to a suite with him just to talk, look at TikTok videos, and things that are beyond your rigid imagination happens with your 14-year-old daughter. And then the source says, well, he was into the barely legal because you have to be 16 in most states to consent to sex. So what you're telling me by your logic is you believed that he was not a pedophile because instead of the child being 5 years old or 8 years old, they were 15 years old. And so you would be absolutely okay with your daughter being assaulted by someone with this logic because there's a big difference between an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old. The way these people have moved the needle on this thing is absolutely insane. And I am disgusted by you, Megyn Kelly. And you may see this video and you may not ever see this video. But how dare you open up your mouth to even regurgitate this logic? It is laughable at best.
Dear Megyn Kelly and any other woman who is going to attempt to reclassify, redefine the type of predator that Jeffrey Epstein was. This is for you. When you say that there's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old, of course there is. What is not different is that they are both children. Okay? Just so that you are aware, child abuse is typically defined when the child is under the age of 13 and the perpetrator is at least 5 years older than they are. Okay? Or if that child is between
is over the age of 13 and still a minor, and the perpetrator is 10 years or more older than them. So, no matter how you slice this very disgusting cake you are trying to serve, Jeffrey Epstein and anyone else that engaged in this atrocious activities with him, including Ghislaine, they are child abusers. I'm not going to argue semantics with you over pedophilia, but child abuse, child sexual predators is absolutely what they are. I hope that clears it up. And God in heaven, I hope you don't have daughters.
Y'all, it's the culture. It's the culture. Do you remember Elvis? Didn't he mess with Priscilla when she was like 13? And Jerry Lee Lewis married his cousin who was a teenager. I mean, this is the culture. This is the culture. That's why Megan don't see anything wrong with it. You know, she sees nothing wrong with it. Well, you know, there are some MAGAs trying to defend Megan, and they're getting kicked off of people's channels. I've seen a couple of them where they'll try to say, "Oh, what Megan did wasn't wrong," and people that are channel creators are telling these folks, "Get off of my channel, unsubscribe. If you think it's okay to do things to a child, I don't want you as a subscriber. You need to move on." You know? And they're getting kicked off of channels all over the place, these MAGAs. So I don't blame people for doing that. I don't blame them. But it just goes to show you, you know, it's like what it says, everything in the dark is going to come to light. You know, this is a very biblical moment, y'all. You know, they're going to start revealing a lot of things that they kept hush hush once upon a time. Yeah, Roman Polanski. Yeah, it's the culture. And things they used to keep on the hush is going to be put out there for the world to see. And that's what Megan just did. And this woman, yep, Woody Allen, and this woman got the nerve to try to, I think back when Beyonce was doing her Cowboy Carter concert, she was over there trying to criticize Beyonce. I was like, Megyn Kelly, after you came out with this, there is nobody you really can criticize. You defended Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein. Yep, Kimora. Yep, she was still a teenager and modeling. And on top of that, where were her parents? Where were her parents? I guess as long as Russell was a millionaire or billionaire, they were fine with it. It's just like with R. Kelly. R. Kelly said those parents gave their daughters to him. And you know what? I believe him. I believe him. I think when they think it's a celebrity with money, they'll look the other way on anything. So, yeah, you know, some people say Megan should be canceled. I mean, well, for me, she's always been canceled. I never particularly cared for her at all. And, you know, I don't listen to her podcast. The only reason why I'm doing this is because it just blew up in the news. And I just happened to see the clips that came out of what she said. But on any given day, I don't watch no Megyn Kelly. Come on, get real. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude again. WJ Luckett, thank you for your support for my channel. And Betty Fetter, once again, thank you for your support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. And I will see you all at 1:45 for my next live stream. And this one's going to be about the email on Donald and Bubba that Jeffrey Epstein had and has recently been published. Shalom, family.